Hey Jets fans, this is Chris Nimbley, editor-in-chief of JetsInsider.com, here at Jets Back Facilities in Florham Park. Staff writer Joe Barone. Jets get ready to, one game left before the last game of the season. Got the San Diego Chargers coming into town. Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah. I was making fun of you earlier for messing that up. I went and messed it up, so I'm going to blame you for that. The Chargers coming into town. A tough week last week. They're a really good team, though. Really good defense. Those two guys on the outside, Bosa, Melvin Ingram, secondary, Casey Hayward, some safeties back there, and Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon on the offense. So it's a tough task for the Jets. But the West Coast trip, a 1 o'clock game, has tripped plenty of better teams than the Chargers up before. So we'll see what happens. Let's start with the injury report. Relatively light.
Brian Winters is the only guy that's definitely going to be out. He's dealing with that abdominal strain. I think he's been battling all season, so that's going to be an issue for him. And also, Eli McGuire battling an illness. He's going to be questionable for the game, and Matt Forte also questionable as well.
Yeah, and Wesley Johnson. Wesley practice was limited today. He'll probably play. Right. Of course, he's been a big storyline this year is his struggles.
At center.
But the Forte McGuire thing is interesting too. Forte has been questionable, missed a lot of practice all week, so you expect him to go. But if both of them can't go, then all of a sudden it's just Bilal Powell back there. So we'll see. But let's talk about this matchup here. You got the Chargers. Let's start with their offense. Phillip Rivers, twilight of his career. He's winding down. Doesn't have quite the same arm strength he used to. Struggled to start the season, but really came on strong. And the main reason for that, to me, is Keenan Allen, who we've seen flashes from throughout his career, but this year he's healthy and he looks unstoppable.
Unstoppable, yeah. That's the word that I was thinking of too, because he's had these games where in fantasy talk, and he'll put up 40 points in fantasy. So that shows he goes over 100 yards receiving, ton of catches, 2 touchdowns a game maybe sometimes. So he's definitely a threat that this Jets secondary is going to have to face and deal with on Sunday. I think he's definitely one of the main reasons why Rivers has had that success this year. In addition to the run game as well, I think overall they've been solid. But anytime you have a quarterback as stable as Phillip Rivers, you have to show respect to him, number one. Number two, you have to realize that he can burn you either the short game or deep as well. When a threat outside like Allen, then that's the big thing the Jets have to worry about.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon's had some big games this year too. The running game is strong, but the Jets have done really well against the run recently.
Lately,
And last week against Kamara and Ingram, they held after those first couple drives. They held up really well. So, but the outside corners, Buster Screen's been playing real well in that side, inside. Obviously, the safeties have been playing really well. Both had great games last week. But those outside corners have been a problem area for the Jets. And Keenan Allen has been a problem for everybody he's faced. Yeah. So that's going to be an issue for them. On the other side of the ball, Forte, McGuire, whether they play or not, the Jets are going to have to be able to run the ball. But the main thing, again, Casey Hayward back there playing in the corner. They got Trey Boston safety. They got some players there, but it's Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. Jets fans will probably remember how much a lot of Jets fans and writers thought the Jets should draft Melvin Ingram when Rex Ryan was here. But those two guys, that pair of pass rushers, the best pair of pass rushers in the NFL.
And they're going to get in the face of Bryce Petty and this offensive line that's beaten. They've been solid of late. They've had their chances where they've looked solid, but recently it's been up and down with them and all season. And without Johnson there at center, who's already, vanilla sometimes, I think that'll provide them a little bit more trouble. And I think with those pass rushes and with a guy like Bryce Petty, who is, he's Bryce Petty.
He's Bryce Petty.
Bryce Petty will be Bryce Petty. Let's not, sugarcoat it for you. It's going to be tough. And it's a matter of if the running backs play, if they could get the run game going, because if they can't and they just limit this offense to just a passing attack, they're going to get burned, and that's going to be a problem with that.
Yeah, it's crazy that I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but there's a huge difference, and if we're counting this game, judging this game with Josh McCown as the quarterback.
McCown this year was good.
I understand. I still can't wrap my head around that. Like, if Josh McCown was playing, they probably beat the Saints last week in New Orleans. So, but Bryce Petty last week, he had a couple really nice throws. But
Eli McGuire, right?
The the biggest issue, he's got these little bubble screens, these little short passes that are down at ankles. They're off by a lot. And maybe, it's quick. Everything's happening so fast. He's rushing things. Can he settle in more this week? It's going to be really tough to do when you have to worry about those two guys coming at you also.
Yeah, I think as far as the receiving game, let's see if they could, I know I've been saying this the last few videos, but Austin Seferian-Jenkins has been so quiet. And
yes.
I know you really have to say, all right, look at the quarterback, but you have to try to
with
incorporate
McCown,
him.
He started disappearing when McCown was
Exactly. So you have to try to incorporate him in the game plan much sooner in this game. From the very first play, start passing to him, start getting him to looks, because then he's a threat to look for in that secondary for the Chargers. They're going to have to deal with him, and that maybe will let Kurtz or Anderson, maybe Chad Hansen gets a little bit more reps, because he looked decent last week against New Orleans.
Was extremely impressive.
Right, in traffic.
Yes.
Traffic's two guys right in his area. So I think Chad Hansen's going to have a big role to step up on Sunday. And I think for Petty, he needs to try to relax. Todd Bowles said that his confidence level is there. He just needs to calm down a little bit. So let's see if he can do that.
Yeah, well, quick thing on Seferian-Jenkins. It's interesting because remember, week 5, week 6, we're sitting and saying, the Jets are definitely going to have to lock him up, bring him back. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, do they though? Do they really?
You have to think, yeah.
And listen, everyone here loves him. He's the story of him turning everything around. He's great, but he's kind of disappeared. And he's not going to command big money, so bring him back. But that sure doesn't mean that you could just bring him back and then just forget about the tight end position. Right now, they're going to need somebody else as well.
Well, this is on John Morton. You have to see if you could try to incorporate him in this offense a little bit more, because but when he was incorporated, he was good, and that's the thing that I do agree with as far as giving him a contract to lock him up for a few years, because the Jets need a tight end, especially if they have a young quarterback coming in next year. Yeah. They need a tight end to be that safety net, so that's why I think you have to do that.
All right, prediction time. Last home game, again, the Chargers traveling from LA to New York. I got it right this time. It's going to be a little bit of an issue there, but Jets get the win, or the Chargers are going to be marching their way to the playoffs here?
I think it'll be a close game because it is at home and they've been better at home. I do think the Chargers, though, are the better team. Yeah. So I'm going to have to go with 27, maybe 14 as far as the Chargers go. It'll be a close game. Jets will keep it close to the first half, and then eventually, Chargers will just take over. Yeah,
that's what I'm going with, too. The Jets do have a chance to win this game, obviously, at home, but that West Coast trip to the East Coast, and the Chargers themselves have specifically fallen victim to this numerous times over the year. Yeah. So
especially at MetLife, they haven't been great.
As good and talented as they are, they have a lot of these games where it just lets downs, and they should win, but somehow they don't show up. But I think it'll be a struggle in the first half. Second half, they turn it on. They start piling on. And also, the Jets' offense is going to need to at least sustain drives early.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't be doing the 3-and-outs, because that's what happens. 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Defense holds up, and then they break.
They're tired,
You can't be out there forever. Right. So I 31-17, something along those lines sounds about right to me. But the Chargers are just a better team, top to bottom right now. They have more to play for. I expect to win, but we'll
also,
see what happens.
Two things: they did not give an update on Mo. They don't know if he's going to play or not. We'll find out on Sunday if he's inactive. And happy holidays, right?
Yep, absolutely. For Joe Barone, this is Chris Nimbley at JetsInsider.com. Be sure to check out JetsInsider.com for all latest breaking news on all things Jets.